This is the exact method I use to bring in an extra $1,000 a month without any gimmicky side hustles, AI copywriting, or any other BS. The first thing I do is credit card churning and bank churning, as well as the occasional brokerage account churning. Essentially what I mean by churning is opening accounts, then hitting the requirements for bonuses that these companies offer. I'll give you a few examples. Discover, with their Discover It card, I believe, gives you $100 just for signing up for the credit card and making a single purchase. I'm currently doing one with US Bank that gives me $200 after I spend $1,000 in 3 months with the card. You could see how that if you just stack up a few of these over the long term, this can easily average to multiple $100s per month per year. Links to my favorite of these bonuses will be in the description. Bank churning is very similar, except for instead of with credit cards, it's with banks. Some banks want you to keep a minimum balance in their account for 90 days, or have direct deposits set up, and after you hit a certain amount of direct deposits, they'll give you an extra bonus. These also can help in trying to get $1,000 a month without having to do any side hustles. Again, I will link some of my favorites in the description, but like right now, I just completed the Fifth Third Bank one, which gave me $500 just for like a couple $1,000s, if that, of direct deposits. And then Associated Bank, which just wants a $10,000 balance averaged across 90 days. And once you complete that, they'll give you $600. Brokerage accounts are very similar. You can do Robinhood, it'll give you a little bit. You can do other accounts though, like Webull, which oftentimes have special offers for referrals or just for depositing money with them. These are all great providers, and again, if you just do a few of these every single year, they can add up to big money on a monthly basis. Again, links to all these in the description. You can get free stocks, you can get extra money by just switching over your direct deposit, etc., etc. I'd say about 50% of that $1,000 probably comes from all three of these groups. Another thing that has been really useful in recent years has just been simple HYSA. If you have, let's just say $30,000 in there at like a 3.5% interest rate, even after taxes, you're looking at like an extra $1,000 a year. So you could add an extra $100 a month. At least that's what my personal situation is. Obviously, it's gonna depend on how much money you actually have in there. But if you go into an HYSA, it'll give you money for literally just having your money sitting in the account. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to even set up direct deposit or nothing. Personally, I get about $100 a month just from doing this. And similarly, dividend investing. So if, let's say you're invested in like a SPY, for example, or Coca-Cola, they will pay you dividends just for owning a stock. And now I wouldn't really consider this too much of extra income because you are taking a risk with this, but it is something I do add to my passive income portfolio. Another thing that's gonna sound super weird is, no, seriously, Sweepstake will literally give you free sweepstakes coins, aka money, that you can go play games with, and once you've played games, any of your earnings will go into money you can withdraw. It's really gonna only apply for people 18 through 20, but a lot of these sweepstakes do not like you unless you're 21 and older. So be very careful with that. If you're 18 through 20, I have had a bunch of sweepstakes casinos shut down on me just because I'm not 21 yet. But if you're 21, you could do like literally 20 of these a day, and even if you just got like 50 or 25 cents off of them, it adds up over the course of the month. So logging into Sweepstakes and literally just playing games casually. Again, you do not have to put any of your money. You're literally betting with house money. So if you are going to do this, make sure you don't have a problem, but it is a good way to bring in an extra $50 to $100 a month. That's what I've been doing at least for the past year, and I'll say I bring in probably an extra $1,500 just from doing this. And the final thing is kind of miscellaneous savings or rewards. What I mean by this is downloading things like Upside. So every time you fill up gas, you get a little bit of a kickback. Also credit card rewards. So like your 2 or 3%, maximizing your rewards points based on which credit card you use for certain items. Getting money back on rent by using certain apps. I've seen that work before. Also just things like rewards points at like gas stations or grocery stores. These things may not seem a lot, but honestly, I get an extra $50 to $100 a month just by doing these simple things that normally I wouldn't even think of, because I'm just saving, $2 here or 50 cents here. It actually can be very useful, especially since these things can compound, and if you're putting it into a brokerage account, it can be very useful. In the same string is things like free cash or swag bucks. Making sure before you open accounts, or if you are going, let's say, to bet online, these places will literally give you free money for completing tasks. Now, this is probably the least passive out of all these. However, even if it's slightly active, for the amount of work you're actually putting in, the reward can be worth it sometimes. You just have to weigh those options. Again, I've probably in the past year gotten $1,000 to $2,000. It's really hard to say, but just for using apps like Free Cash. Again, I'm not on these 24/7, so my earnings aren't as good as they can be, but I do have a job at the end of the day that does pay pretty well. So these are a bunch of methods I've used to, in aggregate, probably get me a couple $1,000 per year, probably pushing over 5 figures. If you want to bring in some extra side income without having to do anything like super active or gimmicky, just look in the description and look in the comment section for my links to these apps and such that can give you banger deals and free money for doing things that you'd either normally do or by just putting in a few extra clicks of a button. So thank y'all for watching, and I hope this helps y'all see some perspective on how to get some side income and what I've been doing as a 20-year-old to help build my net worth and get ahead of everyone else. Appreciate y'all watching. See y'all next time.